Thank you for listening to the New Music Alliance Radio Hour. I'm Mark Ramone, joined today by Violet Hausthor and our special spotlight guest, Dylan from Funnybone Records. You just heard Luke Ellingson with Prepared to Be Bored featuring Danny Probably. Before that, Devisa, I Could Tell. And we started off with Niamh, No Fire.
I've been a fan of Niamh for a good long time now. They do some truly incredible stuff, and this track just takes it to a whole nother level. Like, whoa. Originally from Danbury, Connecticut, though they're now out in Brooklyn. What's the process of working with Niamh like? Because they do such cool stuff and have such a clear vision.
It's hard to describe because I'm constantly floored by just how imaginative Niamh is. Every time they play me a new song of theirs, I'm like, literally, how do you get even better and better? Like, they have this ability to kind of harness like the magic of everyday life into their music. They've gone through a few different projects now. And Niamh kind of feels like the most realized and not in a linear sense, but just in a kind of like persona and aesthetic and kind of just intention sense. The music just really matches kind of the air around the music, if that makes sense. And this single, No Fire, comes off of the album of the same name, which we actually just put out earlier this month. So we are, promoting that album right now. And I do think this album is of Niamh's strongest work. It's got some really beautiful songs that range in both dynamic and emotional intensity and lyrical content. And I am, really honored to have any part of this album in particular. A lot of it was recorded and mixed with our friends at Blind Moose Studios in Northampton. Jack did pretty much every instrument that you hear, all of the arranging, while featuring Daniel Carr from Blind Moose and Greetings on guitar, also featuring me on guitar, and also featuring Ashley LaRosa from Figurine on vocals. And if you haven't noticed, we all kind of end up playing in each other's bands and on each other's records. And as I mentioned earlier, we kind of just have naturally built this web or this family of musicians kind of like supporting each other and playing on each other's stuff. And that's just because it's so fun. But yeah, I love this song, No Fire. It's very fire.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then after that, Devisa with I Could Tell out of Amherst, Massachusetts. Devisa does something that nobody else can do. Her vocals, incredible. Her arrangements, so interesting and wildly experimental at times. There's just a lot here to dig into and to think about. Whoa, I'm just always impressed whenever I hear a Devisa track I hadn't heard before. She always just does something I don't expect, and it's always interesting.
She is a real like gift to our generation. The first time I ever saw her live was in this massive sports dome. It was like on an indoor soccer field. Her voice carried throughout this massive like sports complex. And it was like the perfect setting for an introduction to her because it was like I was wearing the world's biggest headphones or something. But seeing her now in several different settings, from that venue to a venue like Baby's All Right in New York, while the venue informs the experience, anytime I've seen her, I just close my eyes and I kind of get the same awe. She is, really something else, very hard to describe. The emotional intensity I feel when I hear her music, but it's very humbling, and I'm constantly amazed by her musicianship, kind of knowing her personally, what goes into the music. Very humbling, honestly.
And then, of course, rounding off that block, Luke Ellingson with Prepared to Be Bored featuring Danny Probably. I am also a fan of Luke Ellingson out of New Haven, Connecticut. He does incredible stuff. The whole group does some really cool stuff. This might be my favorite Luke Ellingson track now.
I love it. Yeah, it's great alternating vocals. It gets loud and crunchy. I think this is a big hit.
Totally. Yeah. The song absolutely shreds.
Yeah.
Featuring Danny probably on vocals too was a really awesome and cool choice. And I think the two just mesh really well together. Yeah, it kind of brings a new like flavor to Luke Ellingson's discography. Yeah, this is one of the most fun tracks I've heard from him. This was featured on our Room for You benefit compilation, along with that Devisa track that we just played. Yeah, that compilation has a lot of gems, most of which only exist on that album. This Luke Ellingson song being one of them.
I mean, it's an awesome track, and I really thrilled with how this all came together.
Well, I'm really excited to announce that the 2022 virtual release party for the Essential Western New England Songbook will be held on December 11th from 7 p.m. to 8:30. It's going to include 49 additional songs to the Essential Western New England Songbook. Our master of ceremonies will be Tracy Walton from On Deck Recording Studio and Belle of the Fall. The event is sponsored by Northampton Open Media, and you can listen online through Facebook or cable TV or YouTube Live. Coming up again on Sunday, December 11th from 7 to 8:30 p.m.
Thanks for visiting with us. We hope you enjoyed some great original music from Western New England artists. I'm Violet Hausthor, here this week with Mark Ramone and our special guest, Dylan Healy from Funnybone Records. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
so
Dylan.
much for having me. I really appreciate it.
The New Music Alliance Radio Hour is brought to you by the New Music Alliance, a 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is to assist and advance the careers of talented creative local musicians who write original music and promote the extended Western New England area as a destination for original music writing, production, and performances. If you like what we're doing here on the show, tell your friends about it and like the New Music Alliance and the Radio Hour on our Facebook pages. And don't forget to check out our website, newmusicalliance.org, where you find the extraordinary Essential Western New England Songbook, a listenable anthology of the many of the best songs ever written by artists from Western New England. And while you're there, if you support the New Music Alliance's mission, we'd appreciate your making a donation or becoming a member or a sponsor. If you're a local Western New England musician who'd like to have your original music considered to be on a show, send links to your songs to newmusicalliance@gmail.com. Join us next week for more great tunes from Western New England artists. And as always, until next week, please stay safe and keep
on
Rockin'.
Yeah. Let's have Charles and College Neville take us out today with African Eyes.